On this episode of Real Frank Movie Reviews,
we review the movie The Fantastic Four. First steps. I gotta be honest with you, Niles. I wasn't impressed with this movie.
Oh, man.
Real Frank.
Please welcome back the Real Frank channel, Marvel expert, Niles.
What's going on, Frank? Good to see you. Good to see you.
It's great to see you too, Niles. It's been a while since Thunderbolts, I believe.
Yeah. So not too long, but you know, as far as Marvel movies go, at least. But yeah, it's been a little bit, man.
And what it appears probably after this one, we will get a little bit of a break, apparently, right?
Yeah. They're gonna tone it down finally.
Right. So, can you tell the audience what the movie was about?
Fantastic Four have been in motion. They've been a team for about 4 years. It's a family company, basically a family team, I should say. And basically a threat has come. The Herald of Galactus shows up, and she says, "The world is ending. Your time is short." So basically, the Fantastic Four, they have to go and they have to confront Galactus, try to meet in the middle, basically. And he says, basically, "I want your child. And if you don't give me your child, I'm going to eat Earth." You know, you've got two choices, and basically, it's the family's battle, the Fantastic Four's battle versus that.
Fantastic Four. When we did Thunderbolts, both of us were kind of talking about this one, and you were super excited about it. Did it achieve your expectations?
I think so. I think because I grew up on the those first two Fantastic Four movies, so I did have a certain expectation, you could say, but I think it met to it very well. You know, especially just compared to what where the point Marvel has been lately. You know what I mean? So I think they're showing signs of improvement.
All right. So me not being a Marvel comic book guy, was the child Franklin basically the base of the entire movie? Is he in the comic book?
Yeah. He's one of one of the strongest Marvel guys there is. Period.
So what is his power? Giving life? Is that why everyone wants him or wanted the trade? Was it Galacticus?
No, he had the. I can't remember how the movie did it because they didn't do it exactly right. I think what was said that Franklin had the power cosmic, basically, and that was basically what Galactus needed to basically push his role onto him. Franklin was supposed to be his successor in the film, and basically Franklin is a mutant, and he contained the power cosmic, so he was just basically next in line, at least in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So he was going to take his place, and that's why he wanted the baby?
Correct.
And kind of the movie was portrayed like it would fulfill his appetite for destroying planets or feeding them planets?
Correct, because that's his thing. You know, the role for Galactus is needed. So, you know, there's kind of like a Thanos thing. So there's balance in the universe. He goes around, he consumes planets. More planets are created, by the Celestials, whatever you want to call them.
What was interesting with this version of the Fantastic Four, they quickly touched on how they got their powers, where the other two versions kind of focused more on how they became the Fantastic Four, like the first half of the movie. So that was an interesting way to go about it.
That's what a lot of I see these superhero movies are doing nowadays, because the introductions have been done, repeatedly by now, at this point where we're at in superhero movies. So like in the Superman movie, in the Batman movie, they've already been established superheroes for a certain amount of time. So that way, basically, because most audiences that are going to these movies, they already know the story anyway. So they just kind of skip past that, just, kind of to put more action into the movie, just keep it sped up, keep audience's attention.
Which is smart, because like you said, everyone's pretty much educated in it. Why rehash it again?
Yeah, waste of money, and it's cool because, that gets that takes away those audiences that says, "Oh, the movie's too slow. Oh, it took too long to ramp up." That type of thing. You know, you jump right into the action.
That's a good point, because people who are true fans that grew up reading the comic books, they don't want to. They want it slowed down to gather people who weren't in it from the beginning. So that's a great strategy. Great pointing that out. I got to be honest with you, Niles. I wasn't impressed with this movie.
Oh man!
I wasn't impressed.
Oh boy!
I wasn't impressed.
Critical. Let me hear, man. Let me hear. This is what I'll be waiting on, man.
I did enjoy. Not all negatives. I did like the 1950s, 60s feel, style, vibe of the movie. That was cool. Mm-hmm. I did enjoy that. The whole story being based on Franklin was boring to me. Very boring. I know this is like an intro movie, because things are they need something to build off to build us into this multi Doctor Doom world that we're gonna eventually enter in.
Right.
But I thought it was just from the story standpoint. The CGI and everything looked good, but the only thing that bothered me with the CGI was the Thing, which they never referenced him as the Thing, just Ben. They called him Ben, but they didn't really say he was the Thing.
Right. I mean, I did hate that a little bit.
And when he was walking, he looked very strange CGI when he walked. I don't know if you paid attention to that. And his clothes, you know how when it's a hot day and you look at the sun and it's got these waves on it, like this from the heat. When I would look at his clothing, it kind of looked a little blurry, like his shirt and stuff that he was wearing to me.
Yeah.
So that kind of took me out of it, him and his walk. And the ending, like, Sue Storm, the way they defeated is, I'm gonna give my life to push him back into the, what was it, the portal, basically? What do you call it? The transporter thing?
The portal they shoved Galactus back into?
Yes. And I felt we've already had one of these Marvel stories with a big giant coming down, destroying everything. Again,
another one.
Look, Thanos is kind of the same thing. He's a big giant and kind of big. When you say he's kind of big, and there's another one I can't think of right now. But anyway, I was just ho hum. I like the Thunderbolts way better than I did this one, but visually, I thought this was way better than Thunderbolts. Like visually, it was stunning. The 1950s, 60s vibe. And Pedro, I'm a big fan of Pedro as an actor. I just thought I was watching Pedro act like.
That's how good he is, man.
That's how he is.
Like that.
But other than that, I wasn't too wowed by it.
I mean, hey, I'm surprised to hear you say that, man. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. This is very much a breath of fresh air for me. And the other Marvel fans, seems to be the general consensus, at least with the big Marvel heads, that this was a success, especially a step in the right direction for Marvel. Because I think it was a lot easier for them to write this movie too, because they didn't have a whole bunch of plot points that they had to follow, right? It's back they dropped it in the 1960s era. They did that because that's when the original comics had started coming out for the Fantastic Four, so it made it a little bit easier to write, back in their original era. Mm-hmm. And how you said how it was circled so much around the baby, and see that might I like that part. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of Marvel fans would appreciate that, because they know how important that baby is to the whole future of the storyline, and like the new the next Avengers movie, Secret Wars. Like he plays such a pivotal role in that. He's such a crazy. He's so crazy and so strong. It's just like we were just basically waiting to see what happened, because I knew something his powers were gonna show in some way, some fashion. I just didn't know how. And of course, I was watching the movie. I'm like, man, are they really gonna kill her off in this? I mean, I guess it is another universe, so I guess they can kind of pull this off. I think we can.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting.
It was a family movie, though. You know what I'm saying? I think it did. It served its purposes for what it was.
I did like the dynamic of the whole family aspect of it. It was great. But I guess me not knowing too much about the Fantastic Four backstory from the comic books and understanding Franklin, that's probably why I didn't find it as entertaining. But at the same time, when I was watching it, I kept thinking, I think this is more geared toward like an intro movie to introduce us to Franklin having a bigger part in the MCU world going forward.
Yeah, because like in the future, well, at least in the comics, right? That baby ends up controlling Galactus. So how the Silver Surfer was to Galactus, that's how Galactus is to that baby once he grows up.
Oh, so what's his name? Is his name just Franklin, or does he have a special superhero name?
He doesn't have nothing crazy. They're just known for being Mr. Fantastic kids because Mr. Fantastic, smartest man in the universe. So and then they end up being just about as smart as he is.
Oh, all right. Does he have a special look to him when he gets older?
No, nothing too crazy. He looks like a regular guy. He's just got crazy amount of power. See, what was expected, what I expected in the comics when he's a little boy around the age that he was in the end credit scene when you saw Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
He was in his room making a mini universe in there. That's what a lot of fans were expecting. That's what I was expecting at least. Just to show how strong he actually is. Like This guy is like a crazy strong being. So I'm interested to see what direction they're gonna take him.
Wow. So in the comics books, is he meet Dr. Doom at any point?
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of history between the Fantastic Four and Dr. Doom.
Now I can't remember. But the other two in our lifetime that they've tried to reboot with the Fantastic Four, did they ever bring up Franklin?
No, they didn't bring it. The second one, I don't know if you remember, it had Galactus in it, but that's pretty no Franklin. No, they didn't have any kids.
Yeah, that was interesting too because the movie starts off right away with her being pregnant. Like they didn't mess around. Like this movie's gonna be about Franklin, about her having a baby, and how powerful this baby is. And
that's what I mean. Like you see how they kind of put a lot of focus on this baby. That's why my general consensus, my thinking is that's because how it's going to be moving forward in Marvel. Like he's going to be a pretty important character to develop around.
All right. I mean, you're shedding more light on it, but I guess from my eyes, I just was bored. I just wanted more.
I was excited, man, because I just like the original Fantastic Four movie. Well, not the original. I mean, those older ones. Do you know the director? I can't think of his name is on the tip of my tongue.
Matt Shakman?
No, that's the director that did this one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the one that did the last two.
Oh,
anyway, I thought he did a good job, though. But obviously I was a kid watching those, so there's that nostalgia factor that you have to add in there. But I base how I felt about this movie, how I felt about those movies when I was a kid. I think he did a good job living up to those expectations.
I didn't think the second one was that bad. The previous one of this one, I didn't think that was that terrible.
Like I said, I have a certain way I view these movies, and I hear other people that were probably like around my age when those movies were coming out, and they said they weren't that good. Yeah, they're a little bit more critical than I am. So it's kind of hard for me to say just because I was so young watching them.
Right.
I liked him. I like Pedro. I think he stole the show. I think that was a great addition for this role. I liked everybody actually that they picked. Actually, the only person I didn't like that I thought they didn't do too well on the role was the Thing. I think the voice actor was kind of.
Yeah, he didn't. As a child and watching the other ones, I always felt he was more aggressive voice, a deeper voice, a more bigger man voice. Not this.
That's what I'm saying.
Calm, collective.
You got this. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how to really explain him. Because do you watch the show The Bear?
I've seen a couple episodes. Yeah.
He's so much more aggressive in that show. Like he's like yelling constantly, almost every episode. Like, why would you not have him try to bring that type of nature to this role?
Yeah,
like,
he was very calm.
This guy acting sweet. He's holding babies. I'm like, come on, man. Like, he's supposed to be, you know, the thing. He's supposed to be smashed stuff. Like he has some cool parts, I guess, but like I just like I feel like they kind of nerfed his character a little bit.
Big time, because even like you're saying, his voice was just too calm and soothing. Like, and they didn't even reference him as the thing. They kept calling him Ben.
And I had actually similar disagreements with how they portrayed his character visually in this film too. And I just liked how they did it in the original, you know, those other films. The practical suit, I liked the practical suit. I thought that was nice. But it might just be me. I mean, man, you know, it looks back out of the way to me, but whatever.
So did you like this movie better than the Thunderbolts? Because we were both very high on Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I did.
Oh boy.
I think they were both pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but I think I like Fantastic Four better for sure.
Really? Oh my god, I'm loving this.
I think you know, it might be because I liked the character Galactus so much. They did so good on him this time because they you know, they messed him up in the last movie back in like 2007 or whatever it was. So the way that, you know, they were able to kind of execute him so good, like his massive size was crazy. Like they did the scale to the rest of the Fantastic Four. Remember when they came on the ship and they had to go before him?
Yes.
I thought that was pretty magnificent. I thought they did a really good job. They surprised me.
And I don't know if you saw it in your movie theater, but the popcorn bucket of him was sweet.
Man, I saw it on TikTok. They weren't selling those buckets at the one that I went to, but no, they were fire though.
Someone had one of those.
They had the light up eyes and
stuff. Someone had it in our theater and he was carrying it around and it was awesome looking. I didn't know how much they paid for it. I'm sure it was ridiculously priced, but
if I had saw it, I would have bought it. That's a nice souvenir piece right there.
Good. It looked just like
something you could have put in the back of your studio right there.
Hey, it's a good idea. Maybe I'll see if they got it anymore. Because it was impressive.
No, you didn't appreciate the movie enough, man. No, you don't want that one. You don't want that one.
You know how I am. Come on.
So maybe you need another couple watches. Maybe that give you a little bit more appreciation for the film. That is how it is sometimes, though.
You're right, because sometimes you watch something. It's already happened. Like some that I've reviewed and I watched again, and I'm like, it's kind of harsh. I watched. No, I mean the other thing that I liked has, you know, with Reed being elastic, how they presented it in the movie was done very well. Like I was always worried about that when, you know, how are you going to present him to make it look really good that he's elastic, he can move, and they were great at it. The way he moved around from a building to Galactus, and then when he's pulling him apart, like, oh, that looks so cool.
You know, I had a problem with that too. And
you
that
did?
Might just because not how it looked, but just Mr. Fantastic's supposed to be able to stretch. I mean, stretch far.
Yeah,
it didn't seem like he was really, you know, his hands were too far apart when you were stretching them. You know what I'm saying? That was my whole thing. It wasn't, you know, that bad, but I was like, you know, just as far as trying to be comic accurate.
So he should be able to stretch as far as he needs to. That's it. He shouldn't be able to be torn apart.
I'm not gonna say as far as he needs to. Like there is a limit, but he can stretch pretty far. That like how we had him. Like I was like, he probably would have been fine. I like some Fantastic Four, man. What can I say?
I get it, man. All right, man. You want to score this thing? Overall, what do you give this thing?
I give it an 8.
An 8! Wow, man!
I tell you, man, I'm actually very impressed. I think Marvel is finally taking the steps in the right direction. They're dropping less content, more quality content. I think they hit it right on the nail with this one.
It's just unfortunate that it took them this long to figure that out, right? I mean, they wasted some years here of some potential good things, and they just destroyed it with being too greedy.
Yeah, see, they actually put something together in those first like 10 years that they had Marvel, like from like the Iron Man movie to Endgame. They only had like, you know, oh so many hours of content, and half the time, like since then, they've doubled that amount in half the time.
That's crazy. That's wild.
That's crazy, isn't it? You know, think about how much money that, you know, they, you know, put into that. Like, it's ridiculous.
Wouldn't you just love to have like just 1% of that money to put in your pocket.
Something, you know, little bag of Marvel cash. You know, I wouldn't mind.
1% of Marvel. That's all I want. That's all I would need.
Yeah, you keep doing these reviews. You never know, man. They might look you up one day. Invite you to the premiere.
I wish, right? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great, Niles? Hey, let's go to the Comic-Con. You guys come to Comic-Con. Hey.
We have our own panel.
Yeah, right? That old guy's too grumpy. That's what they're going to say. It's too harsh.
Yeah, but that's why don't invite me. You know, I'll be a good cop, bad cop.
That's right. That's probably how it would have to go, right? They wouldn't just invite me. You'd have to come because they would be a package deal because they're like, this guy's an asshole. Oh, man.
You're rated. Come on, man.
All right.
I'm ready.
For me, overall, I give this a 4.4.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry.
And then I think you need to buy another ticket, buddy.
Maybe I will, but I'm just saying, I just was ho-hum. For me, it was ho-hum. I was getting tired of Franklin. Come on, Franklin. Let's finish this up, Franklin. Yes, we get it.
Yeah. You'll see, boy, man. When they get to that Avengers movie, yeah, he's gonna show out for you.
And then I was thinking, all right, it could be like, you know, the first Captain America when he came out with Chris Evans. It was a little slow, a little intro thing, and I'm thinking, all right, so maybe this is slow on purpose to bring us up to par, and then the next one is going to be where it's all going to go wild. So that's when I started thinking too as watching this. Which apparently is probably going to be. Like, you're telling me Franklin's going to be huge with Doctor Doom, so we kind of got something going on there.
Well, there's some smart individuals right there. So, yeah, I think something big is coming.
Has to be, right? Because they got to drag. How many more do you think they're going to do in this? Have they announced how many they're going to do in this MCU world with this Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, and Secret Wars, and Spider-Man? Isn't Spider-Man supposed to be like the last phase of this one or something, the new one? Or
no, Secret Wars will be the last one of like this phase of Marvel, and they said they're only going to drop like from now on like 2 movies a year from now, just because of the crazy output that they've been putting in. Like they said, you know, the watching all this content feels like homework instead of being entertained. You know, trying to keep up with the storyline all so much. You know, they're dropping all this garbage. You know, we don't want to see all this garbage.
And that's right. That's true. It's like homework instead of enjoying some entertainment than the great storytelling that they were used to in the initial phase of this stuff.
Yeah, I think they got a little sidetracked, and I think it was a good idea just because of how comic books are. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really how comic books are. You know, you drop in multiple issues, there's multiple storylines, but you know, there's no need for all that. You know, at least in the MCU, I would say.
Right. Since we got these scores out of the way, just off topic for a second, did you see Superman?
Mm-hmm.
And did you like Superman?
Yes. I thought that was very comic book brought to life. I thought they did a good job.
Did you like it better than Man of Steel?
Yeah, I have to come back to.
You didn't see Man of Steel?
No, I have seen Man of Steel.
Okay.
I just, you know, I've seen the Man of Steel, you know, multiple times. It's had a while to season in with me, so I probably want to give the other Superman another watch or so.
Okay, all right. And then, with that being said, which Superman do you like better out of those two? As of right now.
I guess I would just say Henry Cavill just right now. We'll see what he does. You know, he's gonna have a couple more movies because he did do a good job. But yeah, I mean, just Henry Cavill was a good Superman, man. That's all it was to it.
All right.
I thought this new one was more comic accurate though. He you know how he's saving the squirrel, you know, from getting smashed by a car. Like that type of like pure-hearted goodness. That was really much him. Only thing about the new Superman movie was it was so goofy. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's so whimsical. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I mean, like it was like a comic book brought to life. That's how comic books are. But still, I think there's a limit to what you can do to comic adaptations in movies. But you know what you're gonna get from a James Gunn movie at the same time. So.
Yeah, so you're onto that too, right? You know what you're going to get. He has a certain style, and there's going to be some weird monsters in his movies. He always likes the weird creatures and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, that's every director. You know, when I go into a Quentin Tarantino movie, I know what I'm getting. When I go into a Christopher Nolan movie, I know what I'm getting. Just like when I go into a James Gunn movie, I know what I'm getting.
Absolutely. You're right. Absolutely right. So
every director has their aesthetic. These are like a lot of my favorite directors. So, I know what I'm going into to watch that movie. So, I know what to expect.
Valid point. Especially if you watch a lot of movies and you have certain directors you enjoy because of this, their style.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Well, is there anything else you want to add before we go?
Nope. Good job, Shakman. I can't wait to see the next one.
All right. Niles gives it an 8.0. I give it a 4.4. You decide. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Later.
Taking shots of the heat. Now I can feel it in my teeth. I feel the lyrics start to seep.